Well, for me saying I'm a king is not so much about music. It's about who I am and what I represent and how I inspire a certain demographic of people. I'm from the County of Kings, man. You understand? So unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, I've lived a certain lifestyle that had me in certain positions in my life where I had to stand up, man up, and maintain. I've overcome those things, and I sit here in front of you today. That directly relates to the youth that comes from my environment that may have dreams and goals of being something also. I am inspiration for him because as far as he can see it, I'm the closest thing that he knows is like him. You understand? A lot of these rappers, with no disrespect, are not and never been what they say they are. It is no secret who I am. Before music, during music, whatever. You know, I'm not here to big myself up and down, no man. But it is what it is. I represent those street dudes. I speak for them, goons, I'm in line, I'm in tune with them. You understand? I'm well respected by them. Those are my peers. I watch my peers end up on the cover of Don Diva from Brooklyn. Most rappers from Brooklyn, they never was involved with these kind of dudes in the first place anyway. You understand? So when I say I'm the king of that demographic. You understand? The king of the best that ever did it for those people. You understand? You don't hear no backlash from the street about me saying I'm the king, and I'm out here in plain view wearing a crown, man. Clubs, street, wherever, in plain sight, man. You don't hear that because my love and my respect for Brooklyn and in Brooklyn is deeper. You understand? Like, it's not far-fetched to, on any given day, be in Brooklyn and see me out in the street interacting with my people, or to be in a corner store and just see me pull up in the phone and just jump out by myself. You understand? It's people that tell you that they see me in that fashion. So, yeah, it is what it is. I feel good that, you know, that people are noticing something that I've been always saying for the longest. If you look at my interviews 3, 4, 5 years ago, I always said that, you know, I didn't believe in bringing New York back, but actually bringing it forward. And I always felt that I was one of the artists that was, you know, on the cusp of helping that mission. You know, now we have a lot of newer, younger, fresher artists coming up that's making music that's starting to stick nationally, and that's something that I always believed in. I never believed in only one artist, you know, with the responsibility of holding down the whole city. I didn't think that that was what it was about. I always felt like it was a collage of artists actually in their own respective rights doing their thing at the same time. So people are starting to take notice. I never bought into the whole thing in New York was dead. I never was into that because I always felt like there's dope music and there's bullshit music being made in any market, in any city. So let's not try to harp on New York. What it was that we were so stuck on the older artists, the artists, you know, of old, you know, the artists that are like rap gods and icons here, you understand? And it was a time when there was no connection between the newer artists and the older ones. So it was a space. Now, as time goes and the audience is younger and the sound is fresher, you know, we have artists from here that's influenced by other, you know, other markets. You know, we have an artist like A$AP Rocky who said that he's influenced by the Houston sound. Can't be mad at him because he's of a certain age that he grew up when that was popping. So it is what it is. So I feel good about where we at with New York right now. Well, Dreamer came about, me and Tweezy did it originally. You know, he laid the hook down. You know, when I heard it, I knew it was a hit record. So I felt like it needed some features, so I reached out to French, I reached out to B.O.B. I felt like the record was, you know, inspirational party song. You know, it was a song that, you know, it had a real element, inspirational element to it, as far as it being, you know, about, you know, coming up, being about dreams. You know, I like to I like to be inspiration for the hood, I like to be inspiration for the inner city. So, you know, I think that record reflected that, but at the same time, you know, we balling. All we do is ball, so it's festive at the same time. You know, as an artist, I feel like, you know, for me, I got a duty to not only speak about partying and girls and my life, but also speak about the issues that affect our community, the issues that go around, you know, that's happening in the world and our culture. You know, how can we ignore it? And for me, having a 12-year-old son is scary. So I wanted to express myself about it, and, you know, I didn't want to ignore it. You know, a lot of artists take the high road and try to say, well, I'm just an artist and I'm gonna keep my views to myself. It's touchy, you understand? Because this is something that's, you know, when we turn the news on, we see it, you know, we open the paper, we see it, you know, we go on the blogs, we see it, you know, how can we not? So, you know, it strikes home for a person like me who's had a lot of police contact in his life. My best friend was paralyzed in 2009 by an overzealous, over-aggressive, crooked officer, you know, and then lied and said that my friend tried to kill him and he had a gun. And, you know, we proved that in court, in trial. Went to trial, all charges dropped, but at the same time, my friend is paralyzed. You know, I had an aunt who was killed by a police officer. I've been shot at by police, you know, so it's not about trying to paint the picture that all officers are bad. Like, I'm mature enough to understand that not all officers are bad, but there's an element, you know, in our community that we have a disconnect and a distrust of officers. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with their social skills and how they interact with us and how they deal with us. You know, they're not from our community, they don't understand us, they don't understand our culture, and they come into our communities and we already at a bad place because they talk to us a certain kind of way, they treat us and handle us a certain kind of way. Not all of them. So I like to be clear and when I make my point, because, you know, they'll misconstrue my words and make it seem like I'm speaking about police in general when I'm not. I'm just talking about that community of police that are overzealous, over-aggressive, poor people in social skills, and trigger happy, and don't mind using this firearm, you know, as a means to, you know, in a situation that probably didn't have to be, or whatever, or beat a nigga to death, whatever the situation is. I'm writing a book. Actually, the book is almost done, and you can look forward to that very soon. You know, it's a book called Expect Nothing and Gain the World. And the book is inspiration, it's philosophy, it's my ideals and my advice for brothers that is either just coming home from prison or is about to come home. See, you know, I feel like it's a duty of mine and responsibility of me to actually speak to the homies and actually give them something that can help them in their plight on getting back out here and re-entering society. That right there is something that most people don't have an idea of how that feels, to lose your freedom and then regain it. When you regain your freedom, it's a whole nother ball game, homie. It's a whole nother plight that you got to deal with. It's a whole nother frustration. It's a whole nother fear. What do you do now after doing 10, 15, 2, 3, whatever the situation is? You come home, they give you $40 in a bus ticket, and it's like, now what? You understand? So I wanted to elaborate on that and expound on that and actually give dudes my outlook and what I felt like is some of the best actions to take. You know, there's only one me. I'm one of one. I've done a decade in prison and came home and bought a platinum plaque back to my hood. The truth is, everybody's not gonna have the opportunity to do that. Everybody's not gonna be lucky enough to do that. I'm blessed. As I sit here in front of you, I know that I am. So me knowing that and knowing that other dudes have dreams and aspirations of getting out here and wanting to change or be productive, and you know, a lot of things are stacked up against him. I just wanted to talk to him and give him real talk and give him what it really is, the way nobody else is able to do it. I'm working on some things now, you know, regaining momentum every day. So, like, I had a conversation with a producer friend of mine, and I just told him yesterday that, you know, the energy that we have right now, we didn't have 6 months ago. So let's continue to build on that. Let's use this as a stepping stone to build on that. So I'm back in the studio right now as we speak. Been up all night, you know, working on new music, because I want to drop new music in the top of the year that had me in certain positions in my life where I had to stand up, man up, and maintain. I've overcome those things, and I sit here in front of you today. That directly relates to the youth that comes from my environment. Well, for me saying I'm a king is not so much about music. It's about who I am and what I represent and how I inspire a certain demographic of people. I'm from the County of Kings, man. You understand? So unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, I've lived a certain lifestyle. No disrespect, are not and never been what they say they are. It is no secret who I am. Before music, during music, whatever. You know, I'm not here to big myself up and down, no man. But it is with it that may have dreams and goals of being something also. I am inspiration for him, because as far as he can see it, I'm the closest thing that he knows is like him. You understand? A lot of these rappers, it is. I represent those street dudes. I speak for them, the goons, I'm in line, I'm in tune with them. You understand? I'm well respected by them.